President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period.
Trump finally says our president was born in America and then blames Clinton for starting the birther movement. We'll fact check that one and show how it could backfire on Trump.
For 5 years, he has led the birther movement to delegitimize our first black president.
The birther issue is a real gift to the Democrats and the Clinton campaign.
Meanwhile, Clinton had a terrible week, and it's costing her at a critical time. Our pollster, Matt Towery, has new projections for next week. And we have some big news for Charley. We found a new way to send him our viewer mail. Oh. This is Money, Power, and Politics. Okay, we'll start with Hillary Clinton because she is coming off the worst week of her political career. That's our first big point. Clinton is sliding. She's lost her lead in the polls, and she lost her grip on the electoral map. Look at the changes here. You need 270 electoral votes to win the White House. Clinton is now down to 200, and Trump is coming up, closing in at 163. And when you take a closer look at some of the big states up for grabs, they are tilting Trump. In an average of polls, for example, Trump has a slight lead, very slight, but lead nonetheless in Florida. Our new Fox 13 poll gives Trump the lead now in the state of Georgia. Polls this week also give Trump the edge in the other big prize, the swing state of Ohio and in Iowa. And when you put all of those in Trump's column, he surges ahead of Clinton by 30 points on that national map. And the data is showing us that Trump supporters are more enthusiastic and therefore may be more likely to vote than Clinton supporters.
So part of this is a warning to Hillary Clinton and the Democrats that they're going to have to do a heck of a lot more to stir their base and get them out to vote.
It looks as if Clinton picked the wrong week to call half of Trump supporters deplorable, then ignore her doctor's advice and nearly collapse from pneumonia that even her own daughter did not know she had.
I don't think I've ever seen her so tired, and she was tired because she has pneumonia, and that's miserable. I've had pneumonia twice. I didn't even know that she had pneumonia until she came over to my apartment.
Of course, it also didn't help when Colin Powell's hacked emails show him calling Hillary Clinton a greedy 70-year-old with unbridled ambition that he'd rather not vote for.
I have a great deal of respect for Colin Powell, and I have a lot of sympathy for anyone whose emails become public.
But Trump has a mountain of baggage of his own. His lack of transparency and conflicting statements have also cost him, and his kids have really struggled this week as well. Donald Trump Jr. had a particularly tough week. First, he retweeted a picture of a frog mascot for racists and said he's proud to stand with the racist frog, then had to clarify he had no idea the frog was an anti-Semitic white supremacist mascot, and then made a quip about sending people to the gas chamber, which he later said that was a poor choice of words and that he was not trying to make a joke about the Holocaust. Then, when a reporter asked him if he used his foundation funds to pay for a Trump portrait, he just gave up.
You're a director of the Trump Foundation charity. Did you sign off on charity money for a portrait?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Right. So it happened, you didn't know.
I have to move on. I'm not worried. I'm not involved in it.
Next one. Thank you.
Ivanka Trump also ran into a buzzsaw when she promoted the campaign's plan for child care, and then a reporter reminded her that Donald Trump once called pregnancy a, quote, inconvenience for business. Well, that's all just a taste of what Trump may face in his first debate with Hillary Clinton on Monday, September the 26th, coming right up. And tonight, our pollster Matt Towery will roll out some new numbers here and projections and predictions in Florida and other battleground states. But first, it's the weekend and it's time for our viewer mailbag with Charley Belcher. And tonight, we have found him a brand new home. I think he'll really like it. In fact, I'll go ahead. I'll show you what's going on.
Craig, so glad I ran into you.
Right here,
Listen,
I know.
That pep talk you gave me last week did the trick.
Oh, good. I've still got the whistle here.
I don't even need it. I am so motivated.
Oh, and I saved Gene Hackman from Hoosiers.
Oh, I bet that's a good one.
Oh,
but I'm
great.
ready. I want to be the permanent mail reader for Money, Power, Politics.
Oh, I am so glad to hear you say that. That is just wonderful news because we had to buy all these new servers just to keep up with demand. People keep sending us emails and we need you to read them for us.
Well, that's great, Craig. Where are we going?
Oh, just keep walking. Yoda not far. Just keep going.
Where are we?
Just keep walking. You show me mop the floor. You just keep going.
Yeah, but where are you taking me?
Oh, to your own special place. You're gonna love this. But when I said I want you to mop the floor, that was not a reference to Karate Kid. It's kind of dusty back here. I was hoping that you could here you go. That you could mop the floor as we go here. Might clean things along a little bit. Yeah, a little faster. There you go. Yeah, this is right up his alley.
Craig, wait up! Where are we going?
And here we go,
I've
right
never been
through
to this
here.
part of the
No, it's the
city.
complete other side, all tucked away.
Wait a second. Was it just daylight outside? Doesn't your show come on at night?
Don't be all breaking the fourth wall and stuff. It's over here. This is all for you. Check this out. Nobody cares about that. This is all for you. Looky here. Come right on through. All right, right through here. And here you go, all tucked away. This is all you, your special place.
Wait! Well, Craig, I need a computer to answer email.
No, you're in the mailroom. This is Charlie's mailroom. The mail will come to you. Take care, my friend.
Well, I wonder what he meant the mail would come to me. Oh! There's a mail chute up there. Well, there you go. Shall we get to it? We shall. Our first letter comes from Ryan Dillashaw. He says, thank you for talking more about Gary Johnson. It only took him making a gaffe for you to talk about Gary Johnson, but I'll get what I can take. I might not agree with your perspective, but at least you are mentioning the only alternative to Hillary Trump. Well, Ryan, at least we got him on there, right? All right, here's another letter. This is from Tom. He says, hi, Craig. It's great to watch how effectively you're able to balance humor and really serious news. Your refreshing, entertaining program format is keeping Tampa Bay's thinking audience segment up late on Sunday nights. Tom in Clearwater, I'm glad the thinking folks are watching. And I'm watching too. Let's see, here's another letter. This one is from Leon Ferguson. Leon says, good evening. I want to thank you for your show. I believe it helps educate with a spin of comedy. It's just crazy. This is the reality of our politics. I want to put the challenge out there. I want all normal people to take our country back. I'm tired of seeing all these career politicians running this country. I challenge all the people to step into all offices and turn this into an America we would all love. All lives matter. God bless America. Thank you, Leon. Now, if I only knew any of those normal people. As you might imagine, I don't know many normal people. Let's see. Our last letter comes from Sherry. Sherry says, when I was in my early 50s, I had not bowled for 10 years. I was asked to join my coworkers in a league. I started envisioning throwing strikes in my mind. The first night I bowled a 212 and a 500-plus series. Tell Jameis Winston to sit quietly for 15 minutes a day, envisioning completing his thrown passes, and his receivers should do the same, envisioning receiving those passes. It will be worth at least 2 hours of physical practice. Jameis, if you're watching, think about it. Thank you, Sherry. Keep those letters coming to mppmailbag@yahoo.com, and eventually they'll filter down to me here in my very own mailroom. Craig? Craig, I'm done reading the mail, Craig. Craig? Craig? Craig?
We'll let him out eventually. In the meantime, please check out our YouTube channel for much more with Charlie, as well as our parody and satire segments. Search for Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics and click subscribe. You'll also find serious interviews and investigations you may have missed. Coming up, we'll check Trump's claim about the birther movement. Did that really start with Hillary Clinton? Plus, our pollster Matt Towery rolls out a new round of predictions. All right, please welcome our pollster, Matt Towery. Matt, we've got some big changes to talk about here. What the heck is going on?
Well, you know, Craig, in a matter of a few weeks, this campaign and this election went from one direction to the other direction. Obviously, Hillary Clinton had several bad weeks. You had the WikiLeaks situation. You then, of course, had the deplorables comment, and she wasn't really able to defend herself on that comment because she was obviously ill. That became very clear at the 9/11 event. All of those have come together along with a new Donald Trump who is a little more on target, seems to be having these outreaches that work pretty well. We've seen his numbers with African-American voters in some of these states go way up, comparably speaking. So we've seen a big reverse. Right now, Trump is winning in many of the battleground states that he was losing just a few weeks ago.
You poll those states, Florida as well as Georgia. Bit of a surprise to me in Georgia. You see Donald Trump getting a great deal of additional support from African Americans, up to 22%. Did that surprise you?
Well, what's interesting is normally when I see a poll about this far out, a Republican will normally get 15 to 20% of the African American vote, but then it declines and melts down to about 3 or 4% on Election Day. This is the only time I've ever seen someone go from having 3 or 4% up to 20-something%. So I can't tell you what's going to happen with that. I don't know whether he is somehow striking a chord with some African American voters or not. But if it's happening in Georgia, it's definitely happening in Florida as well, because Florida and Georgia are walking in lockstep in this election. Their numbers are virtually the same every time we poll them.
And so the polling you just did in the state of Georgia shows Trump now has the lead there, and you have said that you expect Florida and Georgia to vote alike in November. Do you think that still holds true?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been polling these states for many years. Of course, I don't poll now. Opinion Savvy, my son's company does, but they've been there. You know, they've been very accurate. And I've never seen Florida and Georgia mirror each other as much as I did both in the primary season and now in these new polls coming out. I mean, we had several polls come out in Florida over the past few days. Most of them said Trump by 4 or 5. What do we have in Georgia? Trump by 4 or 5. When Florida was tied, so was Georgia. For whatever reason, the two states, they're not just neighbors, but they're voting in lockstep right now.
And what is that reason? Why are Georgia and Florida now like-minded the way they are in politics?
Well, a couple of things. You have a state in Florida where you have strong minority population, a stronger one probably in Georgia. You also have more media markets in Florida, but when you put all those together, you have the same sort of demographic look. And the independent voters, let me concentrate on that. Independent voters in Florida are going for Trump. Independent voters in Georgia are going for Trump. And that right now is why the two states are looking so much alike.
Matt Towery, thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
Hillary Clinton and her campaign of 2008 started the birther controversy. I finished it.
Well, fact checkers have jumped all over Donald Trump on that. Trump claims Clinton was first and, quote, all in on the birther movement. That's the campaign to take down President Obama on the bogus claim that he was born in Kenya. Well, we can find no evidence that Clinton or her campaign ever embraced or promoted the birther movement. Neither could fact checkers at Politico, factcheck.org, or the Washington Post. They found a former Clinton aide who questioned Obama's roots to basic American values, but he never questioned his birth in America. And you have a couple of Clinton supporters who questioned his birthplace back in 2008, but Clinton and her campaign disavowed that. Yet Trump just declared Hillary Clinton the founder of the birther movement, though he was its leading advocate for years.
President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period.
Bottom line here, Trump has gained some support from African Americans, and he wants to put the birther movement behind him and then pin it on Hillary Clinton. But the fact checkers and Clinton herself are not letting him move on so fast.
For 5 years, he has led the birther movement to delegitimize our first black president. His campaign was founded on this outrageous lie. There is no erasing it in history.
Donald Trump would not address this on Thursday, said he wanted to keep the suspense going until Friday. So his strategy may have been to pull focus yet again from Hillary Clinton on the day that she got back to work after her bout with pneumonia. But as the birther issue took over the news cycle at the end of the week, and as fact checkers reminded everyone how Trump carried that banner for years, it may work against Trump in the next round of polls. Right now, Trump's voters are more enthusiastic than Clinton's supporters, but this focus on the birther issue could fire up the Democratic base as well.
Hillary Clinton's #1 challenge and problem is in getting the Democratic activist base enthused about her. They've been discouraged lately. We all know the reasons why. She's had some problems. So just as you were saying with Chris Wallace, the birther issue is a real gift to the Democrats and the Clinton campaign.
Coming up, Republicans are in danger of losing control of the U.S. Senate, and they're trying to hang on by running against Obamacare. We'll show you their new line of attack and how it could play out. Republicans know they may lose the Senate this November. They have to defend 24 seats while Democrats only have to defend 10 seats. So the Republicans are looking for some way to hang on, and Rich Edson shows us a big part of their strategy.
Evan Bayh cast the deciding vote for Obamacare.
Then Senator Evan Bayh took that vote nearly 7 years ago. He's running for Senate again this year, and Republicans are still holding that vote against him. Senator John McCain's first TV ad in his Arizona re-election campaign.
John McCain is leading the fight to stop Obamacare.
More than 6 years after President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act, insurance rates continue rising. And Republicans in Senate races are still using their Obamacare opposition to entice voters. At an oversight hearing about rising Obamacare premiums, 3 Republican senators running for re-election in contested states, Senators Ron Johnson, Rob Portman, and John McCain, highlighted problems with the Obamacare insurance markets.
We don't want to fix it. We want to replace it because it's been a complete failure.
In Arizona, insurance companies are asking for, on average, a 49% increase in premiums for individual Obamacare plans next year. There are also large increases projected for other contested Senate states. In Wisconsin, an increase of 20%. Ohio insurance companies have asked to raise premiums 13%. In Pennsylvania, an average increase of 24%. And in Florida, the state projects increases of nearly 20%. The final prices will likely change as state commissioners and companies are still finalizing insurance plans for next year. Democrats point out millions will receive subsidies to help pay these premium increases, though millions will also have to pay the full price themselves. Democrats also point to the $20 million the law has helped insure. Their message? Improve what they call a working system.
We need to get to work making the Affordable Care Act better. We can do that. I know we can. And with the right leadership, I believe that we will.
Well, we have a series of reports on health care reform, what's working and what's not working, and we've investigated the causes of rising costs and premiums and what Congress could change. You'll find our series once again on YouTube. Search for Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics and click subscribe.
Coming up, bad news for Gary Johnson and how it could shake up the race.
Well, polling has shown that a majority of Americans wanted Libertarian Gary Johnson in the presidential debates, but the Commission on Presidential Debates required a 15% threshold in the polls. He did not get there by the middle of September. Therefore, Gary Johnson is out. It will be a head-to-head between Clinton and Trump. Johnson says he will continue to plug ahead, though he said missing the debates is game over for him. He's going to try to get into the second and the third debates. Okay, so it is Sunday night. Before we leave you, I want to take a couple of moments to show you some of my favorite moments throughout the week, including Call It with Scott Smith, always a crowd pleaser, plus a new segment we rolled out with director Darren. Take a look.
Here we go, Tim. In 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, time now for kitchen table politics, and Marissa and Russell are looking a little nervous right now.
Yes, we are.
Honestly, I am too, because we're going to shake it up. We're going to have a discussion about politics, the Battle of Florida, but Director Darren is going to be in the studio control, and he's going to be giving each one of us in our ears certain maybe silly phrases that we have to work into our responses and our dialogue without cracking a smile, without laughing. So let's start, Russell, with you. The Battle of Florida. What issues are going to drive voting behavior this year?
Are we talking presidential right now? I mean, I don't know if issues even matter at this point.
SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs.
Just Marissa, what say you?
This race is just a bowl of SpaghettiOs. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just about, it's not even about politics anymore. It's about Hillary versus Trump and Trump versus Hillary.
Yes,
there is just,
right.
there is, I feel like the
Maytag
political
repairman.
issues at hand are almost non-existent at this point. And it's sad because you really want to hear them talk about the issues that matter, but most of the time we just find them bantering against each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, there are.
Yeah.
We got him. We got him.
You know,
she aced it.
I know she did,
yeah.
but I mean, but the thing is, I mean, you know, what do you want to do? Who do you want to call in to help you on this? I mean, there's so many people that you could consult and help you on this. I mean, do you want to call the Maytag repairman?
The what? I didn't even get that.
The Maytag repairman.
We're going to be very aggressive on that issue as well as on the geographic.
As well as on the geographic.
What?
At that point, he's interrupted by a man in a costume yelling, "I'm the Muffin Man." He's interrupted by a rendition of Let It Go from Frozen. He's interrupted by a squirrel that jumps on his desk. Or I'm just throwing you a trick question and he says nothing funny at all. Ha 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 ha.
Man. Yeah. Let's go. I'm going to go A, Muffin Man.
Muffin
just
Man.
Just because I
all
want
right.
that. That's the outcome I want.
All right, here we go.
We're going to be very aggressive on that issue as well as on the geographic preference issue.
Come on.
Just let it go, Mr.
That's pretty good.
Let it go,
He had that on his cell phone.
All right, there's the week here. We have a lot lined up for next week, too. We're going to have a lot of fun. We also have a very serious look at Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump as they gear up for their first presidential debate. That will be next Monday, September the 26th. Thank you so much for joining us.